Hello everyone, welcome back to Flying Solo with Kat. And today we are talking about episode 3 and 4 of Maul Shadow Lord. Again, just a little warning, spoilers ahead, and a little fun thing I was able to do is actually put all of the Maul Shadow Lord videos together in a little set. So if you have not seen my review of episode 1 and 2, should be linked right next to it, or you should see that on your sidebar. And go check that one out because that was a really fun video and there were a lot of theories thrown out that some of them were correct. Yay. But yeah, we're going to be talking about chapter 3 and 4 in this, and let's just go ahead and get right into it. So chapter 3, Whispers of the Unknown. For one, I've been loving Gen X. Normally with shows like this, especially Clone Wars, I get really sick of staying in the same place for too long, mainly because of the animation. I get really sick of the same place, especially like Felucia, that planet. I hated, there was like 12 episodes where we just stayed on Felucia, and it's one of my least favorite planets. It's just so brown and just yucky and muddy, and there's like color in the plants, but just like everything else is kind of like wasteland desert. It's not my favorite. There's better planets. Anyway, so happy with Janix, and I think the animation is lending to that. Also, like the Kenner music, mainly in episode 3. It sounded really good in episode 4, but episode 3 really stood out to me with the music that 1 and 2 didn't really. I heard a lot of people complimenting it, and of course, it was great, but for some reason episode 3 was like, oh my god, it did give me chills, as all of the other episodes have. So the Maul and Devon talk is so good. I knew it was going to happen, but just the psychological, not only visualization of the torture, but just even what she's going through in the dark of hearing just Maul's voice and having no escape is so good. And you know, it works into that thing of Maul and his manipulation. And it's funny too, because we know like Maul is trying to manipulate her, but at the same time, and especially in episode 4, I think he fully believes of what he is saying. I don't even think he's saying it just to be like, I really want you on my side. I think he's legitimately like, no, this is what I believe in, and I know you believe it too. So that's kind of fun. I don't necessarily like when characters manipulate other characters on false beliefs. You know, if there's a little bit of false belief in there and really trying to manipulate someone, then that's great. I think that works too. But when it's the full opinion of the person, and I think in Maul in this too, and it took me again a couple episodes to really see where he was coming from and see, okay, is he just saying whatever to get her on his side, or does he legitimately believe this? And I think we're at the point of Maul legitimately believes what he is saying and what he is trying to teach to Devon, which makes it so much more exciting to watch. Him bringing up his mother, who was murdered, his brother, who was murdered by, of course, Palpatine. Him not uttering Palpatine's name, I think, was really good. And just Sam Witwer, oh my god, I think he's gonna get a lot of awards for the upcoming TV show Academy season. I think the show, I mean, it's broken records as the highest rated Star Wars show. And really quickly, I want to just say thank you. Lucasfilm really needed a win, and I feel like there's just been so much hate around Star Wars recently, which is really sad. Even with talking with friends, they are just so uninterested with the franchise, and just are kind of bagging on people who like it. And of course, Andor was a special thing, but to have that for me in animation, and this is like, for me, this is the Andor that I would watch. It has very adult themes, but it still feels like Star Wars in that sense. And of course, Andor is Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars, but I kind of like the more pulpy action kind of fun flick. And Maul Shadow Lord delivers on that. So to the team, to Sam Witwer, who just is quite honestly acting his ass off. And I knew he was going to do great. I mean, he's one of the most passionate fans out there. But you can hear the desperation in his voice, the loss of control, especially in episode 4. Like, he is barely trying to hold it together. And I feel like he's doing an okay job. but, you know, someone just pushes him a little too far, or a plan doesn't kind of go all the way through. You know, he starts to lose it a little bit. When he's losing Devin, he starts to kind of break. And I think this is the same Maul we have traveled with, from the Phantom Menace to Clone Wars to this to Solo, and then to Star Wars Rebels. And it's just amazing that I knew they would have gotten his characterization correct. I wasn't like worried about that, but it's nice to just see it in full action and like really have the layers of his character. Lawson, my boy Lawson. He's trying so hard to be a good dad, and like Riley's whole match thing, like, oh, that was hard to watch. And like, Docky, this is not the time to like interrupt the man, but I totally get why that happened. Um, I guess we'll talk about we'll talk about Docky first, and like that whole conversation with Lawson. I feel like this entire time Docky's trying to like suss out really Lawson, you know, and they had that talk about the Empire. And like, I do think, and we see that in episode 4, I do think that Docky, you know, at least 90% trusts Lawson. It was really interesting, kind of like saying, I'm her uncle, you know, and Devin's my niece. I thought that was a really interesting choice, and I think Lawson kind of picked up on that, but in a good way. It wasn't like, okay. It was like, okay, you're like trying to protect yourself and like your family, and I respect that as a family man myself, or at least trying to be. Um, so I really like that scene. I just like how Docky just is kind of this mysterious guy, and I really like that, and just like seeing him like a little concerned for Devin. You know, a lot of people last week were saying like, why would he just let Devin get arrested and he didn't do anything? I believe that he was trying to teach her a lesson of, look, these are the consequences to your actions. In no way do I think that Docky was expecting Maul to take her at all. So I do think that was not supposed to happen, and Docky legitimately got concerned. And people were saying like, oh, he doesn't care. Like, no, he cares a lot. And again, we said that more in episode 4. Okay, I'm a little done with Two Boots. Granted, I was scared that he was gonna die in that battle where the Pikes kind of got shot up. But Two Boots is annoyed me these 2 episodes. I get it, man. It's your protocol, but someone needs to explain to him that the Empire is not the Republic. I just don't know why they can't have that conversation. And then Two Boots, like, gives a slam and says like, oh, is this because your former wife, because she joined the Empire? Dude, read the frickin' room. Are you serious? I like was shocked. I like full mouth open moment there. I was like, he did not just say that. um I'm worried. I'm very worried. That is really interesting. I think the people over at Star Wars Explained, love y'all, I think it was either, I think Molly said it. It was either Molly or Alex. I love them so much. Please go check out Star Wars Explained. I listen to them all the time. I remember them saying or theorizing that it could have been that she was a part of the Empire, or, you know, at least Lawson had a past with the Empire. But I think the one that stuck out to me that I was like, oh, that would be really interesting, is if his wife joined the Empire, you know, like a lot of people did during that time, because they were trying to recruit in mass numbers, even bigger than the Republic, so they can kind of do their outreach. So I'm interested. I really hope we get to see her, and I'll talk more about the Empire, you know, when talking about chapter 4. But I was shocked, and I think that's gonna be really interesting. But it also kind of pisses me off, because I'm like, dude, the Empire is just not good, man. Like, why can't you just let him not? Like, it's not even anything personal. But again, it's hard for me because we know as an audience that the Empire is bad and that fascism is bad. Don't do that. And so, like, these characters are living in a time where the Empire is fairly new, and they haven't really seen the genocidal part of it, and the fascist side of it. So I think it's important to keep that in mind. But I swear to God, Two Boots pissed me off in these 2 episodes. Seeing the Pike planet, again, I was just shocked. of the animation as a concept artist, wanting to get into the field. It just makes me so giddy and happy. It's looks exactly like some of the concept art artists work that I like, and just put into an animated series like this for landscape stills. It is beautiful. I really hope they come out with an art book. Winkety wink wink, Disney, take my money, because I will definitely buy it. And I think they will, honestly, because Dave Filoni's really pushed this new animation technique, and I do think Disney will at least want to make it known that, hey, this is kind of like a big thing for us, and because it was so highly rated. Maul smiling at the end after Devin leaves, like, and watching her leave kind of into this like white space. Again, I could talk about the color for this series so much, and I think I actually might do either a paper on it or something in the future, just because there's so much to talk about with the series, and I might even talk about it more in season 2 when that comes out. But just how he smiles, it's just so creepy, and it gave me chills. Every episode that has come out has given me chills, and like at least once in the episode, and like I've never had that with the series. Specifically a Star Wars series. I think I got it once. I got it at the end of episode 3 in Andor, season 1. But I think every other TV show, I've never gotten chills. And this is, I think, the first time it's happened 4 episodes in a row, which, again, is a little crazy to me. But that's just props to the writers, animators, and voice actors. Thank you so much for doing your job. Okay, next, let's go on to chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance. Okay, this confused me a little bit. So if y'all kind of understood this in the comments, just let me know, because I'd be interested to talk about this. The whole thing with Vario was a little confusing, but in the best way possible. It definitely subverted my expectations for what I thought was going to happen. So Maul was with Vario. Vario's like, oh my god, like, I'm sorry he forced me to do this. Who we think is Maul, ends up, with the lightsaber and chopping him down. Then it's, they get in with the leader, and it's shown that who Vario stuns, because he was gonna like double cross him to the Pike leader, is actually not Maul, and it's just a random Zabrak, or one of his Maul's lackeys. So then, like, Vario looks really scared, and then Vario kind of runs to a corner, and then Maul actually comes, kills the Pike leader, does this whole speech on vengeance and leadership, and then puts Colt, which was like the captain or something of like the troops and whatever, as the new leader that is now looking up to Maul. I immediately got Solo vibes. That clip has been going around a lot on social medias with, I don't even remember the Solo guy's name, but Paul Bettany, whoever he played, after he dies, or Kira explains that Paul Bettany character betrayed you, blah, 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 blah. Maul then puts Kira in the Crimson Dawn representative and that type of thing. And then Maul is like, you will be working under me. It's the same type of thing. And it's like, oh, interesting. So everyone's like, everything's starting to connect, and everyone is kind of now working under Maul. So my only thing is, like, we didn't really see if, like, that was the original plan. I'm guessing that's what we're supposed to think, but I'm kind of like, wait, did Vario, like, double cross too many times? Like, what was actually Vario's plan? Was he gonna actually double cross Maul, trying to get in with the Pike leader, or was that actually Rook's plan that they wanted to do? So I was a tiny bit confused on that, but I really thought Vario was gonna die. I am shocked that he is still living this late in the game. I am shocked. The Devin and Daki hug was so sweet. I like wanted to cry. I was like, oh my god, that is just family. I love them. It was really interesting of seeing like Devin wanting revenge, and Daki knowing this. And like, I think I like that he wasn't like, no, revenge is the dark side. Like, he understood where she was coming from, of like, no, like, we know where Maul is. Like, it is our job, even though the Republic is gone and the Jedi Order is gone, to protect the people. And like, she actually changes Daki's mind, because she's like, no, legitimately, I don't want to do this for vengeance. I want to do this to protect people, because I could see what Maul can do, and he's crazy. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know if she's fully not off on vengeance. I do think with the Empire, I predict that Daki is going to end up dying to one of the Inquisitors, because we know they are coming in the next coming episodes. And then I think Devin is going to run back to Maul and be like, look, dude, I hate you so much, but my master is dead, and I do want vengeance for that. I don't want vengeance on you, but eventually I do. But right now, like, our biggest threat is the Empire, which again is what Maul has been saying for the last 3 episodes. So I do think we are going to go into that. I don't want Daki to die. I hope he doesn't. I'm just saying that might honestly lead her back into Maul's embrace, and that might lead to something. So I don't really know, but that's my theory. Two Boots being powered down was really sad, but I was sick of him. Honestly, what he did at the end of the episode, I was just done. I was like, can we just kill this guy, or like explain to him? I hope and pray, because the writers are so good in this show, and it really came to fruition in this episode specifically, episode 4. But I hope that Two Boots sees the tyranny and the control that the Empire has over Janix, and sees, oh, the Empire is not good. Like, that's not what we should be doing. And then Two Boots actually has remorse and understands why Lawson didn't want to alert the Empire, not just because of his ex-wife. So I really hope that happens, because again, I was really happy how they handled like the droid relationship, especially with Lawson. And even, this is what pissed me off the most, Lawson apologizes at the end of the episode. He apologizes to Two Boots, saying, look, I'm really sorry, like, that really wasn't cool of me. And then Two Boots is like, yeah, I'm sorry too. And then they all get pings that the Empire is here. I'm like, Two Boots, screw you. Like, Lawson is one of the best bros that you could have right now as a human. And, like, he could treat you like trash, but he doesn't, because he sees you as a person. And, like, Two Boots just does not understand. So I am praying that we get some justice for Two Boots, because I know he was a lot of people's favorite characters in the first 2 episodes. So I'm interested to see how my Two Boot stands are gonna handle what this episode did to him. So I hope he gets some justice, at least towards the end of the season. That whole Maul talk was so interesting. Again, the writing in the show is so good. It's kind of insane. It's almost on like Tony Gilroy Andor levels, almost. I wouldn't say it is, but it almost hits it. Like, and it just lets us be in this space, like, and have a conversation. Not only with Maul and the cops, where, Rook and the rest of the Mandos were kind of like watching them, and they were about to have a shoot off, and Maul was trying to offer Lawson a deal, which was really interesting. We got to have that conversation without it being stupid, or it being like, oh, whatever, like, of course we're not going to take that deal. Like, it almost seems like Lawson considers it, and then realizes what his duty is. And then when we see Maul with Devin and Daki, I immediately thought they were going to start fighting. That's just what I'm programmed to believe, because everyone wants to get into the action. But we actually took time to let these characters talk. Let Maul see where Daki is at, and you have this back and forth of a belief system. Maul thinks that Daki and Devin are not living a fulfilled life. And Daki, of course, has a different opinion on that, and different outlook on what life is. And that's so interesting, and it's so good. It is, I just eat it up every time. And it's great. I don't even have anything more to say about that. is just really well constructed, and I cannot complain whatsoever. Okay, this is something that I think I'm stretching a little bit, but it's just something that I kind of thought of. I don't think they were going for this, but it was a nice kind of parallel because in The Phantom Menace, you have Maul who battles Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon being the older master, and Obi-Wan kind of being almost around Devon's age. I do believe Obi-Wan was a little bit older. And then you have Daki being that older master, and then Devon kind of being that younger Padawan. And I thought it was really nice to just see Maul kind of go through that again. And that was just something I picked up on, and I really liked the symbolism of that entire fight. Daki and Devon, I say get away here. I would say that Lawson kind of let them go. Of course, Daki was the one to, let Lawson know personally of where Maul was at. I thought that was good. I'm happy that, like, they didn't double cross them. Like, again, Lawson is such a fun character, and I have enjoyed every single second of him. I really, again, thought it was going to be more like Two Boots this 2 chapters, and he was going to be a little bit more stressed out and crazy, and he wasn't. He really kept his cool. I do think as the Empire comes, I'm interested to see if we see his wife, or ex-wife, excuse me. Like, really interested. So I think that whole family drama too, I just feel bad for Lawson. Like, buddy, you are doing the best you can. Please keep going. Okay. That Star Destroyer shot with the Kenner kind of revamp, I guess, of the Imperial March was really good. I like this, like, we know the Empire's coming. You know, of course, they didn't hide that from us in the trailers. And there's this kind of overhang of, we know the Empire is going to be coming. How is it going to happen? The Empire has been mentioned every episode, that we've had. So it's like a shadow that is casted down across everyone, and especially with episode 4. Probably towards the end when Maul gets away and Rook and all the Mandos and Lawson is there, and right after Two Boots says I'm sorry too, and like everyone gets the pings, you just know. And there's almost like a weight that is then put on. And we don't even see the Empire yet or hear any music indicating that. We just know immediately. And then with Devon and Daki's still hurt, unfortunately, poor boy. And Daki just sits there, and Devon's like concerned. He's like, I'm sorry, I failed you. And then he just, like, he kind of sits, and then there's kind of like, you just wait a couple seconds, and then he just looks towards it. And again, I'm even getting chills right now thinking about it. Like, it is, they know. And it is so almost terrifying of what we know is coming. And it is one of, like, the best build-ups I've seen in a TV show, or I think almost any piece of media. Like, that build-up was so well done. And again, like, it's only been 4 episodes. Honestly, they could have waited till, like, episode 6 and it would have still felt the same. But I think, like, being able to do it this fast and this timely is impressive. I'm impressed. So, yeah, that was so well done. And just seeing that shot of the Star Destroyer, like the tip of the Star Destroyer going over Janix, like, it just incredible. It parallels so many scenes, of course, in Star Wars. It parallels Force Awakens. I know I'll probably see that this week. It parallels, well, technically that's the underside if it's paralleling A New Hope, but y'all get what I mean. It was such a classic Star Wars shot, and it still felt the most deadly, so they did their job well. So overall, these 2 episodes were good. I would say, if I had to rank, which is really hard, I would say Episode 3, going from like my most favorite, I don't even want to say least favorite, just most favorite, would be episode 3, episode 4, episode 2, and then episode 1. But again, that's so hard to rank them. I'll probably do a full ranking the last episode that we see of season 1, but I have been so delighted. Every Monday, I am looking forward to what they're going to bring to this TV show next. So I'm just so excited. Every week I'm excited for Star Wars, and it's been a bit. It's been a bit since that's happened. So it feels good to be back in it. But anyway, guys, let me know what your favorite episode is, and what you've been liking for Maul Shadow Lord, because I want to hear everyone's thoughts. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to check out my episode 1 and 2 review if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.